Okay, let's draw. So today I have something very special for you. GAOMON sent me this pen display tablet to try it out and show you how it works. So I thought I'd film the unboxing process. So first take a look at the box. So here in the back you can see the specifications and accessories and all that stuff. Okay, so let's open it. Okay, so here's everything what is included in the package. First of all, the instruction manual. There's also a cloth so you can clean your screen. And we have a drawing glove. Oh, I don't know how they're called. But yeah, which are just the two fingers so you can slide easier over the screen. Okay, those are adapters for the cables. Then here's the battery-free pen. It's very light and has two buttons. Here are a bunch of cables. Like one is for power, the other two go inside the tablet, and one goes inside the PC. Then you have the pen holder, and inside the pen holder you find the replacement nibs, which is really nice. This is leather case bracket, though I guess it's mostly so you can like fold it and have a support for the tablet. Here the most important part, the tablet. On the back it says GAOMON, and yeah. Let's remove the protective film. Okay, now that we have everything unpacked, these are all the items that are included. Let's clean up a bit and start drawing something. I wanted to do something different with this tablet, and since I had the chance to again use PC to draw, so I wanted to show you how I use Paint Tool SAI. Though I haven't used it in like 2 years, so it was quite hard for me to get into it again, since I've been using Ibis Paint for the last year, and before that I was doing traditional art. So yeah, I had to get used to it again. That's why I decided to do the outlines with Ibis Paint, because it was much easier for me that way. Also, Paint Tool SAI doesn't have a liquefying tool, so that was a whole other pain for me. Because as you might know, I love the liquefying tool and I use it for every step of my drawings. First of all, I'm going to change the background color because I don't like having that checkered transparency thing. So a thing that I just realized is that you can see the tabs when I open them, so sorry for that. Anyways, if you want to know how to change the background color, you can go to Canvas. There's an option to select background, and there you can change it to black, white, or color, transparent, whatever you want. With Paint Tool SAI, I do my drawings a little bit different, as I make a lot of layers, which is harder to do with iPad, as you can create that much layers, as the program will crash if you use too many of them. but with PC and SI, there's almost no limit. Well, I guess it depends on your PC. I put the outline layer in one folder, but I will remove that later. And then I made a new layer in the new folder and start the coloring. I will start with the hair. So just with the normal pencil tool, the first one, I go around the hair, the outline, and then I take the bucket tool and just fill it in. Since I'm going to have a lot of layers, I will name most of them, like the outline layer, the hair layer, the folders, and just all the base color layers. Now I do the same thing with the jacket. So I created a new layer, I go around the outline, and then I just fill it in with the bucket tool. And the same thing again with the top and the skirt. Since they are not touching, I will just put them on the same layer so I don't have too many layers. So once the base color is done, I will set the outlines to multiply as I usually do, and there's where I realized that I have to move them out of the outlines folder, or else the effect wouldn't show up. I also create a new layer, also set it to multiply, and clip it to the hair, so we can make the first shadow layer for the hair. And as I said, we're going to end up with a lot of layers. So if you want to name them all, maybe that makes things easier. Also, I set the layer effect to water fringe, what will give the coloring that wet edge texture. So once I have all the first layer of shadows done, I try to use the watercolor brush to soften some of the lines, and it doesn't work as I wanted to, so I'm going to create my own brush. So I forgot to record how I created the brush, but here you can see the settings. So to create a new brush, you can right click here on the empty boxes, and for this new brush I selected a watercolor brush, and then what I mostly changed was the bleeding, dilution and persistence, and I just kept playing around with those settings to see what works best. So I basically wanted a brush which could like drag the color but also kind of erase the color, so I could blur some of the lines and make them softer. Now I just go over the edges with my new created brush to make some of the wet edges softer and also to shape it a little bit more. Now I create a new shadow layer, also set it to multiply and with the water fringe effect, just to darken the line, just I usually do with my coloring. And then I will go over it also with the watercolor brush to soften the edges. I also wanted a textured brush, so I created another watercolor brush and added texture here. There are a lot of different to choose from, so I selected the acrylic texture and set the strength of the texture to 50, as you can see here. Then I just do the usual and make new multiply layers for the shadows. But usually in Eevee Paint I just have like 2 or 3 shadow layers, and now for each part I have a new shadow layer. To draw the shadows I used the brush paint, which make the edges a bit softer. To get a few more harsh edges I will now erase some part, and thanks to the water fringe effect you can see the effect clearer on those parts. But then as well there I will take my watercolor brush and soften the ends. So the rest of the shading process is just as usual. I create a new layer, set it to multiply, use the water fringe effect, clip the layer to the base color and use the brush tool, and then use my watercolor brush to soften the edges. I don't use the water fringe effect on the skin shadow layers, so the shading there can look softer. And yeah, as I said, the rest of the coloring is just as usual. So if you want to get more information on that, you can watch my other videos. The same goes for how I do my outlines. I have a video for that as well on my channel. And yeah, that's mostly it. So I really want to thank GAOMON for sending me this tablet. I had so much fun using it. And I can really recommend getting a display tablet if you have the chance to get one, because drawing with it is so much easier than drawing with a regular tablet. And it was also nice getting back to Psy again, which I haven't used in years. So I also want to mention that my Psy version is like from 2017 or something like that, so maybe there are a bit changes in newer versions, but I don't think it should be too different. This was actually my first time using Paint Tool Side 2. I used Paint Tool Side 1 before. It was very similar, so I had no problem getting used to it. Also, I will leave all the information of the tablet in the description box so you can see all the details. That, for example, it also worked with Android devices, but make sure that it supports your device before buying. And I will leave the link to the website as well. So I also quickly wanted to show you how it looks all set up. Like here you can see the 2 screens, one of the PC and one is the tablet. And the leather case bracket folded up so you can use it as support. Here are some close-ups of me drawing with the tablet. First I wanted to just like close the gaps and use the bucket tool to fill in the color. But I didn't like how this turned out, so I just did it how you see in the video. This was also another version of this drawing. I tried this like a few times, but I never liked how it turned out. Because for example here I did the outlines with Psy, but I didn't like the eyes, so I redraw the outlines with Eevee Paint and then just did the coloring with Psy. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again GAOMON for sending me the tablet. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I gave you some tips on how to use Xi. And see you next time. Bye!